My name is Samantha Linnett, and I'm the Innovation Design Lead for the Innovation team. Funding for emergency housing expenses, whether that be needing a security deposit in a short amount of time or emergency stopgap rent, your utilities bill, is a really high need here in the city. And so we identified that as one of the challenges that we put up for people to apply to help solve. And Vite Labs applied to help provide those kinds of funds for people who need it. In Syracuse, approximately 25% of our residents move at least once a year, and a huge chunk of those moves are forced moves, either from missing a rent payment and going through an eviction process or having unsafe, unhealthy housing, so having to move to a better place that doesn't have lead paint or heat problems. Over half of our renters in the city face a housing cost burden, meaning that they pay over 30% of their household income on just housing costs. And that makes people highly at risk for being very vulnerable for any other emergency that happens in their life, whether that's a medical bill that pops up because you had to go to the emergency room, or your car breaks down and you have to pay to fix that. And so a lot of residents are either being forced to move again and again and again, or are having to go to predatory lending services that put them even further in debt.
Syracuse had a certain use case which blockchain was still fit for, hence why we decided in order to solve society's problems, we have to solve the problem of the public sector. Blockchain technology is, simply put, two things. Number one, it's smart contract technology, so you can program through code agreements made by different parties in the world, be it financial or otherwise. The second thing that blockchain does besides smart contracts is provide a financial payment network, which is cross-border, which has low to no fees, and which is extremely rapid. So with blockchain, what we can do is solve problems that current financial institutions, such as banks and grants and nonprofits and public financing organizations, these parties cannot solve. The micro-lending system that Syracuse proposed actually is part of a bigger picture. So what we decided is perhaps a loan is not the most appropriate way to address housing instability. Maybe it's a grant. And we also realized that perhaps we elicit the help of neighbors and locals, but also the help of big corporations and of small businesses. And so given the fact that we started off addressing housing instability through housing loans, now we're moving more towards how to address the entire spectrum of housing instability problems using a certain technology and a public financing mechanism.
If we were trying to do this just internally, we would not have the capacity or the technical expertise to carry it out. Vite Labs is really the expert in the technology that will make this program work. They're going to design the blockchain solution, they're going to do all of the money transfer and figuring out how to set all of that up. And we're responsible more for the program side of it. So how do residents access it? What community organizations are we working with? How do we market it and get it people to want to give money to the program? And so without them, it really couldn't happen. Anyone would have the ability to give really an amount of money. And so it could be $25, it could be much higher, and those dollars then go into this pool that is accessible by residents who need it. They can then get quick and easy access to these dollars to help either keep them in their homes or make their move to a new place easier.
What we've accomplished is bring together all of these external and internal stakeholders around neighborhood development, small business development, innovation office, the City of Syracuse, various parties therein, from nonprofits to bureaucrats, and workshopping around what are the problems and what are the existing solutions. And so at this point, what we do know is that there will be a very simple technical solution to provide public financing in the realm of housing instability. And we know that in the future, this could look like a token economy or a peer-to-peer microloan system, but we'll have to see.
What's really exciting about this project is, I think, just how new it is. There aren't any other cities that are doing anything like this. It has such potential to genuinely help without putting them further into debt or making their lives more difficult, and to just keep huge amounts of people in their home, connecting our lower income residents with our higher income residents, getting people into local businesses, and really celebrating the Syracuse community.